Welcome to today's episode of Tasting the City, where today we're going to sample some coffee in beautiful downtown Dunedin, I might add. So we're going to Tukro Coffee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but hey, let's go inside and make sure I'm pronouncing that the right way. Follow me. So today we're at, where are we?
Tukro Coffee.
Tukro.
Tukro.
Tell me how you came up with that name.
So Tukro, the name Tukro comes from my wife and I hired a graphic designer to design a logo that was antique looking, and it represented the two of us. So he came up with these two birds with a coffee bean and a plant in between us. And we were like, perfect, this is a great logo, but we didn't have a name. So after a few months of, now we're hitting the deadline of having to incorporate, she turned to me and she said, what are we going to name this business? We've got a logo with two crows on it. And there it was. The name was born. We just made our own name out of it and spelt it a little bit funny. Put a umlaut on it because she's German.
I was wondering where that came from. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you've got this house here. Did you tell me about the house?
So the house, we're renting this house. And we made a great deal with our landlord to take this 1916 house that was pretty much in full despair and totally remodel it from top to bottom. So
wow.
I did most of the work on the interior of the space myself with subcontractors doing all new plumbing, all new electricity. But the entire build out was pretty much done by me, and that was our budget. So it was our budget was hard work. And
sweat equity
and blood.
Sweat and blood equity. That's what that's called.
Yeah, I even blew my bicep out doing it.
Oh gosh, yeah, you did. You even have the scar. Show that.
Yes,
show that.
I have a scar that looks like Voldemort got me. And so we literally did this one-handed for the first 3 months.
Wow, wow. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful place.
I think we paid homage to the home.
I think you did.
That was the whole point of the remodel, was to do the house what it deserved.
Well, tell us about your service here, what you have.
So what we do here is primarily, our main focus is specialty coffee. So specialty coffee is, it's more like the term craft coffee or fair trade coffee. We partnered with our roaster, Counterculture Coffee in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So Counterculture was the company in the early 90s that actually coined the term fair trade. They started that whole process. So now there's all types of food industry that use fair trade as what they do, and how they go to build infrastructure and running water and fair wages for the farmers. So they pioneered it, and being able to partner with them as our roaster is an incredible thing. Their quality starts at making sure the farmer is doing the utmost best product, and then following that all the way to the end user, where we have to actually conform to all these quality standards in the brewing processes. And all of us, including myself, have gone months through schooling through Counterculture to be baristas. And then there's even a test out procedure where they come and for 8 hours you taste espresso, and they make sure that you actually know the difference between 1/10 of a gram increments of weighed out coffee. Yeah.
Almost makes me want to drink coffee.
Yeah.
I don't, but it almost makes me want to drink coffee.
It could change it. My wife started off before this not drinking coffee. She never drank coffee.
Oh, wow.
And now she drinks coffee.
Wow. It's infectious then.
It is.
It's infectious.
It's addictive too.
Yeah, addictive. Yeah. You also have to get food stuff, as I understand?
We do a couple pastries we do in-house. Most of them are done by our pastry chef, Caitlin. She owns Manna Bakery. It's a local wholesale bakery in Clearwater, Clearwater, St. Pete. And then on the weekends, we do some special pastries through Cassis Bakery in St. Pete. So they do all the hand-laminated old style croissants, where they're rolling out the butter and proofing them for days before we even get a chance to look at them. So pretty much every day we've got some fresh pastries coming in here.
Oh, wow.
Good array between salty and sweet.
Salty and sweet. Now this is sweet,
This
I guess.
is sweet, but it has some salt on it. This is a caramel sea salt brownie.
caramel, sea salt, and in a brownie.
In a brownie.
Dude,
Yep. Not so
the
bad.
trifecta of good food.
That one's a home run.
Oh man! Look, you see the caramel flowing through this.
And everything she does
And the taste
is,
pops.
like, really handmade by her, one at a time. And then she's here at 5 a.m. delivering these things in the morning to us. So she's a real hard-working woman. She
That is
deserves
delicious.
all the props.
Anybody gets up at 5 o'clock and
Yes.
starts their day,
Yes.
or starts their day at 5 o'clock,
Yes.
in my book. And this one is
This is a delicata squash, which is kind of like a cross between a pumpkin and a butternut squash, with goat cheese and caramelized onions, topped with some everything bagel season. It's kind of like Thanksgiving in your mouth.
well, let's try it. Oh my goodness!
So it's hand
The
done.
squash
puff
is
pastry.
inside here.
Yeah,
Oh my! Oh my!
that's a real popular item.
I bet. This is like Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
It's got that
it's got sage in it,
sage, and
onions.
if you've ever eaten Thanksgiving dinner at your grandma's house, this is the taste you get.
And a hand pie.
In one hand, that is.
Right.
That's delicious. Pardon me while I just kind of chew this up a little bit. That is delicious. Dominic, so now that you've opened here, tell me a little bit about Dunedin. What do you think about this place?
Dunedin's an amazing place. I moved here 14 years ago, and I was currently at the time a firefighter with the city of Clearwater. I retired in October, and I knew that I wanted to do something in Dunedin as my next venture, my next project, because I was too young to retire, even though I retired.
No.
But Dunedin was the perfect place. It's the vibe here is incredible. It is, everybody helps each other out. It's almost an indescribable thing. You go across a border in one direction and you get a completely different feel from person to person. People wave to each other, people know each other. Like when we went to go open this place up, all the other local restaurants pitched in to set a framework for me to be successful.
Wow.
Which, I come from New York. I lived in Manhattan for 16 years. This is not
Yeah,
anywhere.
I lived in Chicago. I know what you mean.
It doesn't
Yeah.
happen, right?
No.
So like everyone here, even people in the same business, directly the same business, were there to help coach, mentor, and help along the process.
Wow.
I mean, the first week we were open, we ran out of ice by 10:30 in the morning every morning, and we had Jason from Flanagan's shuttling ice buckets from his ice machine back to mine. Zach from the living room mentoring me on my P&Ls.
Yep.
It's just it's been incredible. I would have never opened a place anywhere else but here.
Wow, and you've done all this since October.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
This is pretty neat, Dominic. Thank
Hustling.
you. Hustling, yes, hustling. Well, we always end our programs the same way. We kind of wave at the camera. We wave at the camera, and then we say, okay, give us your address, your official address, and if you got a website or something like that,
sure
it'll
do.
appear right here while we're talking.
We sure do. Our address is 472 Wood Street in Dunedin. It's directly located behind the Dunedin Smokehouse restaurant. And our web address is www.tukro, Tukro Coffee, COFFEE.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well.
And wave at the camera. See you later. See you at our next episode of Tasting the City.